I am Jordan Moore. That is not Sean Cody. That is Max Brown. That is Keely Orr sitting next to me. Sean out for this one, but we've got Bryson Shaw sitting down, the redshirt junior. Our Best in the Game is brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line. Old Dominion Freight Line works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. Bryson Shaw is certainly one of the best Trojans out there on Friday night, Bryson, but it did not go our way. What's it been, 48, 72 hours over it yet? How do you digest a loss like that?
Yeah, no, I don't think I'll be over it until I get a chance to play them again next season. It's just tough to swallow, but I'm just proud of how hard the guys have fought all season. How far we've come as a team. It's been a great season for us. Still got one big one left, so we're fighting for that. But yeah, it still stings, and it'll sting till we get them again.
Given the trajectory this team was on, how did you guys process it, post losing?
Yeah, right. I mean, it was a tough to swallow. I mean, still is. It was, we had everything lined up for us, and chance to get in the getting in the playoffs, cracking in the playoffs, and to come up that short after all the work we've put in, coming together as a team from all different areas. It's really hard to deal with, but it's like, okay, we got Tulane in a big game, big bowl game, a historic Cotton Bowl. It's like we got to get focused on that now. Let's fix the problems, fix the mistakes, get on the film, and let's move on to the next one.
And you have a unique perspective, being at Ohio State last year, playing Utah in the Rose Bowl there, and then twice again this year. What makes the Utes unique and so challenging to go up against? Yeah, I mean, they're a well-coached, disciplined team, very tough, very physical, very sound in their scheme, and just they play hard, and they're just a disciplined team, and a lot of credit to them.
You're listening to Bryson Shaw. We're getting Trojans Live started here. And as Max mentioned, you're an Ohio State transfer. So let's take it back at your backstory a little bit, because I think for a lot of fans, you sort of popped in the middle of this season. We didn't get you really from the start because you were dealing with some injuries. What led you to make the decision to go from one sort of blue blood college football program to another?
Right. I just felt like deep down in my soul I needed a change. I needed a fresh start. And Coach Grinch, he recruited me out of high school. I'm from Maryland and went to Bullis School, where the great Dwayne Haskins went. RP Dwayne, great person, great friend. So yeah, I came out of Bullis School. Coach Grinch was at Ohio State at the time. He recruited me there. We had a really good relationship, and just kind of after 3 great seasons at Ohio State, just kind of something I wasn't really feeling like myself. Felt like I needed a fresh start, fresh change, and I hit the portal. And luckily, Coach Grinch came calling back, and I was like, let's get it rolling right away. No really hesitation.
And you were a summer enrollee, right?
Yeah.
So what was that like, getting comfortable in this defense when everyone had the spring to get used to Grinch's defense?
Yeah, I mean it was tough. Just knowing that the guy, he's been there since the spring. Guys had spring ball, but the group accepted me with arms wide open. Just really bonded with these guys right from the start, and I wasn't really worried too much about how's it going to play out. I was just worried about coming in, putting my head down, working hard, and helping the guys as much as I can.
Your first splash as a Trojan was in Tucson and in Arizona. Great game there, and that's an offense that's 3 receiver sets, a tight end that's great in the pass game. And then you go to Utah, a lot of 2 tight end sets, much more physical, asked to do a lot more in the run game. Your position, you can make the argument, has the biggest change when you have to play a team like that. How do you approach that shift when it's, hey, some weeks we got the big-time passing attacks that you're going to see out west, and then you flip the script the next week and it's a physical game the week after?
Yeah, right. Like as soon as that game, ends, that prior week we watch the film and just kind of clean slate, just get it rolling, So we get a physical team like Utah. It's like, all right, I need some more tackling practice, after practice. I need to start getting in that mindset. Like it's going to be a more physical game, and if we get an air raid attack, it's like, all right, I need to get that mindset and make some plays back there in the deep zones and man coverage. So it's just kind of all about getting that mindset and getting it rolling.
You're listening to USC safety Bryson Shaw on Trojans Live. And Bryson, a lot of portal talk today, and it's funny because we sit here and we interview student athletes, week in and week out on this show, and there's been so many of them these days that have been transfers, and I feel like they're all really positive stories, and yet there's a lot of hemming and hawing on Twitter about whether or not the transfer portal is good for our sport. From the student athlete's perspective, what do you think about how college athletics has changed and what the transfer portal has done?
Yeah, I mean, the transfer portal I think is a great thing for college athletics. I mean, I know I'm just like to get this opportunity after being at a place I was at. It's just a blessing. You know, I'm just so happy how things played out, and I don't know if it would have played out like this without the portal. And there's a lot of great guys, great athletes out there that kind of need that fresh start like I did. And I think the portal provides an opportunity for them to chase that fresh start just for themselves. I think it's a really good thing.
You and your teammates have been in such a rhythm for the last several months. You have, like you said, a while until you play another game, and it's finals week this week. What does it look like for you guys as student athletes right now?
Yeah, I mean, the last few days it's been weird already. Not getting right into it. Coaches are hitting the road recruiting this week, so it's kind of weird. Just kind of I guess settling down a little bit. Just I'm just ready. I know we're all just ready, kind of get back on that field and get going, especially after that tough game.
Today's the first day that the portal that Jordan referenced is open for players to hop in there. The Twitter feeds right now are crazy and whatnot. When you went through that process of putting your name in the portal, I know you mentioned you had a great relationship with Coach Grinch, but what's that like? Is the phone just blowing up right then? Is it just chaos? Are you having to have your parents, your high school coach help you out? Like, take us inside the lens of that approach.
Right. It actually, the process was kind of a lot more than I expected, right away. As soon as I put my name in there, I was getting contacted by a lot of people. And my high school coach, Coach Pat Saleno, he really helped me out a lot through it. They kind of went through him, and then he reached out to me, and then he was like, "Are you interested in this?" And I kind of knew what I was looking for. I was looking for a USC. Looking for something just like this opportunity. And luckily, Coach Grinch, I mean, the first day, within hours, he reached out, and I kind of already knew that's all right. Let's get this rolling.
You'll probably be gone by the time the Trojans move to the Big Ten, but I'm interested in your perspective now that you have played in the Pac-12 and obviously played in the Big Ten. How is the game different? What are the Trojans in for? How will things change for them when they change conferences?
I mean, in all honesty, I feel like being from the East Coast, there's this kind of certain thing about the Pac-12. I think the Pac-12 is very underrated, to be honest. I think the teams in the conference are great. I was talking to some of the teammates, through the season. It's like you see all these kind of upsets. Oregon State, Oregon, like all these type of games. And it's like, well, they're just that even. The conference is that even. I think when you look at the Big Ten, it's like 3 top dogs, and then there's a big drop off. I think the Pac-12 gets kind of that stigma to it because the teams are the teams are just so even. So I think it's underrated, and the talent I've seen on the field and played against has been awesome. So I'm a big fan of this conference, and I've really enjoyed playing in it, and so yeah.
Everyone mentioned the portal, so I guess it's my turn now. Given that some of your teammates have entered the portal today, what is it like for you guys still having to prepare for a bowl while your teammates enter the portal? And has there been a message from the coaches while that transition is happening?
Right. I mean, it's tough. You months and months of hard work. Right next to these guys. Going through battles. I mean, with these guys, it's tough anytime you see guys leave. But at the same time, they have to look out for themselves too. They got to make the best decision for themselves. So we understand everyone's got their own goals, their own journey. So it's like man, it's hate to see that guy go, but at the same time we're like just grateful for him and just wish him the best of luck, and just we got to focus on what's ahead for us.
Well, we're happy we got you out of the portal. Good first season at USC. Still a big bowl game to come. If you haven't heard, Trojans are playing in the Cotton Bowl Classic. It's going to be USC versus Tulane, the best Group of 5 team, and that'll be January 2nd. It's going to be 10 a.m. in the Pacific time zone, if I did that correct. I believe it's noon
breakfast
Central Time
and
kick.
Football.
Yeah, breakfast and football. Again, something maybe we'll have to get used to in the Big Ten. You're going to watch some USC football when they're on the road early in the morning. So they'll be playing in the Cotton Bowl. Bryson Shaw will be out there for the Trojans.